Welcome, welcome, welcome to the first ever reading of my debut novel. This will be an exclusive excerpt, and if you purchase the novel, you will be allowed into weekly live readings and chats in regards to the chapter reviews. So let's get started, shall we? Should Have Known Better by Courtney Omega. First of all, let me give a disclaimer. This actual novel was written when I was pregnant, 4 months pregnant with my daughter. And this was about 13 years ago. So I was in my 20s. So please excuse any immaturity in regards to anything expressed. This novel was an outward pour of emotions. It was therapeutic, and absolutely, it afforded me an opportunity to extend my time with not having to go back to work to a 9 to 5. As after this novel was published, I was one of the recipients of my grandmother's inheritance. So this allowed me to extend and better invest, that inheritance. And I was able to prolong my time living the dream, so to speak, a little longer. I did tour with this particular novel, but when rediscovering it as I'm working on a new media project, it seemed only fitting and only right for you to see my growth, for you to know that this also, your art is a part of your journey with your growth, and wanted to share that with you. So without further ado, Should Have Known Better by Courtney Omega. In the midst of losing herself, Camille Ebony is discovering the woman she was meant to be. In the blink of an eye, seemingly her marriage, career, and life get rearranged. And when a cool stranger enters the mix, she realizes for the first time in her life that she is able to throw caution to the wind and just be herself without any labels or duties attached. Excuse me. All things must come to an end, though. And once again, Camille finds herself taking on the requirements of wife and mother. But when she is called upon to do one more favor, the journey to the heart of the matter continues, and she comes face to face with the realities of the girl she once was, the person she has wanted to be, and the woman she is. On the road to self discovery, Camille soon realizes there must be some casualties. Naomi Ebony, the front desk attendant, called out much too loud for my comfort. I hurried over to the desk. Pulling the waist of my black fitted hooded sweatshirt up, I reached inside my velour bottoms and spread the money and my ID on the counter. Excuse me. She took my money and ID with her thick brown fingers that resembled hot dogs. Oh, the price is $3.25, Miss Ebony, she flatly said. And this ID says your name is Camille. Oh, Naomi is my middle name. But why did the price go up? I just set this appointment last month and I was told the student price was $265. I said softly and politely when I knew what I really wanted to do was reach across the counter and slap those Tootsie Rolls out of her grasp. She reached for another chocolate treat and said, well, this is fine as a temple ID, but even for students, the price is going up. She smacked her lips fiercely. Going up in a month? Well, how much is this procedure for people who aren't students? I was upset, outraged even. This was crazy, and I already didn't have any money. How was I going to pay for this? Hmm. Well, these procedures are now $365 for non-students. But if you can't pay, you have to wait another 2 weeks. Ma'am, I don't have any more money, and I'm already at 12 weeks. I can't wait too much longer. The woman, without a tag displaying her name, handed me my money and my ID back. Do you have any other form of additional payment? She asked. I reluctantly fished a credit card out of my pocket that I knew full well. I'm sorry. That I knew full well had nothing on it. I slid the platinum tone card across the countertop. She ran in and told me what I already knew. Miss Ebony, you'll have to reschedule. It's Mrs. Ebony, and I'll call, I said, snatching up my card, money, and ID. Then I hastily got out of there and up the stairs. I didn't even lift my head until I was rounding the corner and Planned Parenthood was out of sight. I approached the counter at Wendy's, considering my money carefully. I'll have a chili with extra cheese and an order of nuggets, thank you. I added, oh, and a large water. I silently began my meal and thought long and hard about how I got into this predicament. Being pregnant with me and my husband Malcolm's first child should have been a joyous occasion. Yet, the moment I found out that I was pregnant, I knew what I had to do. I decided to keep it to myself and terminate the pregnancy. A smile found its way to my lips, though, as I reminisced on the time period when the baby was conceived. 3 months ago, I'd returned from Miami visiting my sister and getting over the fact that the magazine that I'd worked for since college had was folding. Malcolm met me at the airport with his dreads tapered and looking fly. He had on khakis and some chucks, and he looked like he was straight from the West Coast instead of DC. I couldn't wait for him to get me home and let me know how much he missed me. I sure missed him though. I did love Southern Florida. I missed my man, I missed our home, and I definitely missed Philly. I kissed him from head to toe the moment we were in our Chestnut Hill townhome and took every luscious inch of him into my body. Malcolm was my first for everything, and I loved when we would have these moments when we hadn't seen each other because we could somewhat relive those first times together. He almost always made sure he took care of me also. I miss you, Candy Girl, he said, kissing my forehead after our third lovemaking session. I miss you too, baby, I said, intertwining my fingers with his. I slowly peeled myself off of him and announced I was going to take a shower. And then I suggested we go to a nice restaurant tonight. What about dinner at Blue Zed or Zanzibar Blue, baby? Let's do something fun tonight. I stepped through the parade of garments over the floor and went to the bathroom. Can we just order some Chinese or something light? Your trip kind of was the last of entertainment funds, he called to me. And you know I haven't gotten paid yet from the city contract I've been working. And your last bling check hasn't posted to the account yet either. The city still hasn't paid you? What's the holdup? I asked, returning to the bedroom to collect the clothing items thrown about and put them into the waiting hamper. I didn't know. I don't know. Christina said this FBI probe thing is getting ridiculous, and they are investigating all of these contracts the city had out with vendors and trying to see if they're legitimate businesses. So she says my contract kind of got lost in the shuffle in the investigation, but it shouldn't be too much longer. She says everything will be fine. Oh, okay, I said, calling out as I returned back to the bathroom. Do you want to join me in here? I said after getting the water temperature just right. When I didn't hear a response, I returned to our bedroom to find Malcolm knocked out. I smiled and took a long shower solo, grateful that he was resting because after my shower, he would definitely need his strength for the remainder of the evening. I finished my lunch at Wendy's and decided to sit for a minute as I evaluated my situation further. Every little dime I had was put towards finishing the rent at the townhome and keeping my phone on and gas in my car at this point. Malcolm fell victim to the City Hall witch hunt only 2 months later, and I found myself scrambling to line up our funds to pay for his legal fees and just eating. When I found out I was pregnant, I knew what I had to do, but that didn't make the decision at all easier. It hurt like hell to know I didn't have any money to do anything otherwise. And I couldn't just ask my family to help me raise this baby, especially when I didn't know when this whole nightmare would blow over. In a fog of deep thought, as I was leaving, I dumped my trash and was going out the door when I bumped into a 6'4" wall of a man. Excuse me, I said, looking up into the gentleman's face. Watch where you're going. You might run someone over, he joked. I didn't laugh. I was not in for jokes today. You watch where you're going and don't get run over, I sassed. In North Carolina blue scrubs and matching J's, he smiled back. I will try not to get run over then. Good, I said over my shoulder and pushed on the next glass door. Hey, is this yours? He asked. I turned to see him handing out a neon green iPod. Oh, yeah, it came out of my pocket. Thanks, ma'am. Sean, he offered. Okay, I'm Camille. Are you in a hurry? You going somewhere? Dude was forward. Not really. Why? What's up? I asked with visions of a smooth frosty dancing in my head. I don't know. I'm just about to grab something to eat. So you want some company to watch you eat? He nodded. Well, didn't you eat already? Yeah, but I could go for a frosty or something, I said, following him back into the restaurant. I suddenly got a second wind of hunger and added a baked potato to my order. Sean peeled off the bills and I followed him to an isolated table. You skipping school or something? He asked. I laughed. Skipping school? No, Sean, I'm grown. Why do you ask? Oh, you look younger, that's all. Well, I assure you, I am grown and I wouldn't have any school to skip. I finished college a couple of years ago. He seemed surprised by this announcement. You went to CCP? He asked eagerly. No, Temple. My major was communications. I see you have scrubs on. What are you, a male nurse or something? I asked. No, I'm a medical assistant. I'm getting my hours filled. I have an externship at Thomas Jefferson right now, but I'm going back to school to be a pharmaceutical assistant. That's cool. Where's your school? I asked. He didn't look like he was from here. His skin was much too smooth, dark, and his speak was too slow, and he seemed apprehensive whenever I spoke. It was as though he was waiting for me to say something crazy. Little did he know, I was waiting for the same thing from him. It's up at this mall, Plymouth Meeting. I don't know if you know where it is. I know exactly where it is. I don't stay too far from there. Well, I'm moving soon, but I used to stay even closer, like 10 minutes away. Oh, you moving far? Not really. Where are you from anyway? I asked, spooning out a big scoop of the creamy chocolate and licking it. His jaw just about dropped. Chocolate, North Carolina. He smiled as he caught his mistake. Charlotte, I mean. I guess you got a lot of good memories there to make you smile like that, I said. Yeah, it's all right. So, how long have you been up here? I asked. About a year. That's cool. You have a lady up here? I need to know so I can be on guard if someone crazy comes walking towards the table. You know, you need to warn me, I said half jokingly. I was not about to get into it with no lame chick over a frosty and a spud. No haps. Nah, I don't have anyone up here, Sean said, taking a big bite of his burger and crunching on the bacon. I grabbed the burger from him. You know there's bacon on that? I asked, somewhat alarmed. Yeah, I like bacon. Dang, why did you touch my food? I didn't know you ate bacon. I don't know anyone who does. Excuse me, I said, a bit heated. Well, I'm not Muslim, are you? What an ignorant question. No, I'm not Muslim, but I still don't eat bacon, and excuse me for being concerned. I didn't know someone who was in the health profession would have such an unhealthy dietary practice. There was awkward silence for a second. Then he went to the trash and threw the burger away and returned from the service counter with a fresh burger. This time, no bacon. So, you asked me if I had a lady here, but why would you ask unless you had a man? I do have a man, a husband, I said proudly. He nearly spat out the new burger he was enjoying. He took a big gulp of cola. He's in jail, I added. Oh, I didn't see you wearing a ring. I guess y'all are divorced? I shook my head and took a bite of the now cool baked potato. No, we're still married. He had a confused look on his face. Why do you look so crazy? You never met a married woman before? I asked. Nah, you're cool. It's just that you don't look married, that's all. And how does someone look married? For starters, they wear rings. I rubbed my bare finger. Sean was eerily observant. I'd pawned my rings last month to get a procedure for this procedure money and other items, of course. Well, when you love someone, the ring is in your heart, not on your finger, I rebutted. And you say you don't have anyone up here, but I bet you have someone back home, I said. He gulped hard, not taking his eyes off of me. Well, I'm sure not married. I crossed my legs and folded my arms. Well, lucky for us, this is just lunch and not a date or anything. Married women don't talk like you either, he said. Don't talk like me. And how do married women talk? I asked. I don't know. They talk like they're not interested in extra conversation. They just say things like, how's the weather? Or what did you have for dinner? They don't really ask questions that you have to answer or give thought to. This Sean took me by surprise with that answer. Oh, it seems like you have given that lots of thought. I guess you're an expert. He shrugged. How long you been married? Almost 5 years, but I've known my husband since I was 18. Oh, has he been in jail for a while? Look, Sean, don't take this the wrong way, but you are asking a lot of questions. Like you're interviewing me, so I need to know, what job am I applying for? He was silent, though he didn't get, and though he was silent as though he didn't get my point, but I could tell he did. Why are you dressed like that? He proceeded with the interrogation. Like what? Like you're a teenager or something. I can see the tops of your panties because the pants slip down when you sit down. Hmm. I don't know. I, well, I'm dressed in a velour suit. How should I be dressed? Like you're a man's wife? A nice suit, maybe a skirt and jacket, and your hair done nice. Do you have a car? I could care less, but I was about to flip the script on him and give him a dose of his own medicine, since he wanted to play the how you should look B game. Silence. He kept chewing. You said you're on an externship. Do you have a job outside of that? If not, you should get one. You are what, 23 or 24, right? Yeah, how do you know that? He asked, impressed. Well, I would have thought you were older from your demeanor, but you asked young boy questions, a lot of suggestions about what I should look like, but no combo about what you don't have. He looked at his watch. My lunch is over, but I was going to call you if you give me your number. Why don't I take yours? I asked, really not wanting to give him anything of mine. I can't. Because you live with your mother and she won't let you give it out? I asked, receiving his impressed but disturbed look again. He slowly nodded. I got a better idea. Why don't you call your coordinator or supervisor or whoever and tell them you got sick over lunch? Then you can come back to my place and kiss my butt. I stood up and handed him my phone. He placed his Boston Red Sox hat on his head and accepted it. I wasn't serious at all, but I led the way back to my place anyway as we got off the R7 train. I couldn't believe he actually did it. I switched my hips knowing he was watching, but little did he know that's all he was going to do today was look. Do you want something to drink? All I have is water and orange juice. I haven't been to the store yet. I lied. I had no money to even go for a grocery trip. Nah, I'm fine. Sean's voice was trailing off as he walked around my place like he was deciding if he wanted to buy it. The bedroom is nice. At least it's clean in here, he called from the rear of the apartment. I went into the bedroom to see him sprawled on the bed. This dude must be crazy. Do you have a problem? Get off my bed. Out of my bedroom. Are you crazy? Girl, I didn't take off work for nothing, he said, sitting up in the bed. Take off work for nothing? You're not even getting paid from that job. You're on an externship. I thought you wanted to chill and talk. I didn't invite you over here to get laid. That's for real. But you said to kiss my butt. Well, take off your pants so I can do it. This dude had jokes. You must think I'm stupid. That's the best you can do? Take off your pants? You are something else. But if you thought that I was going to come around, if you were coming around here for an afternoon fest, you are clearly mistaken. Dang, you mean you had me wasting my time here? This is some BS for real. I thought you were cool. Well, I thought you were too. But it seems like you have something else on your mind, and I'm not getting into it. Well, He scratched his low-cut hair. Well, do you want a massage? I'm good at them. You seem stressed out and a lot is on your mind. I thought about it. Yeah, whatever. Come out into the front room. I guess I could use a massage. He slowly got off the bed and joined me on the futon in the front room. You want to smoke something? He asked. I don't smoke, I said. Oh, not anymore? You quit? I never have. You serious? Yep. Well, you mind if I smoke something before I give you a massage? Relaxes me a little bit. Listen, you don't even have to do that. I don't need a massage that bad that I would have you up in here getting blown, so I really couldn't do anything with you and get you to leave here if you start tripping. Dang, then what do you do? You need to calm down for real. There's a woman in your presence. He twisted up his mouth. I don't live too far from here. Can you tell me when the next train comes? 18 after the hour, so one just left. I reclined against the back of the cushion. I thought you wanted to do something, he said disappointedly again. Well, I do, but not what you want to do, obviously. I was cool with just talking. Well, since we have an hour, you can go ahead and talk then. I definitely ain't walking back to Germantown Avenue. I did just that, and I guess I talked his ear off. I told him that I needed a little cash, but also let him know I wasn't trying to trick to get it. I just put it out there in general conversation. I may be able to help you out with that, but I'm gonna need to do something here, he said. Something like what? Well, I'm going back home next weekend, and if I could cook up a little something here, I can sell it down there. How much is a little something? A couple of bowls, and I'll pay you $200 for that. I don't know. I don't partake in illegal stuff. My husband is a lawyer, I slipped out. He looked around suddenly as though agents and cops were going to drop from the ceiling at any given moment. What? What kind of mess is that? Why didn't you tell me? Calm down, Sean. I'm not trying to case you up. I'm just being upfront. He relaxed a little. Well, How I know you're not wearing a wire or something? He was really trying to get me out of these pants. I played along and I stripped down in front of him. You convinced? I said, turning around slowly, then placing my hands on my hips. I'd freshly oiled my skin this morning before leaving for the clinic, and the cool citrus shea butter was still earning every cent I spent. My skin felt supple and it still had a healthy but not greasy shine. I could see him reacting. Hey, you got any condoms? He asked me desperately. For what? I played dumb and reached for my bottoms. He pulled them out of my grasp. Come on, Camille, don't play. That thing is too fat, and man, you over there looking like a bag of mangoes. I still had on my lime green and purple cheeky panties, but plenty was hanging out for his view. That's too bad, because I ain't doing that, I said seriously. I already told you. Oh, you one of those types, huh? What's that supposed to mean? I asked, somewhat offended as I got my pants free of his grasp. A tease. Oh, well, I'd rather be a tease than a skis any day. I shrugged, pulling my pants back on, and then my top. This is some real BS. I ain't never met a girl that would get all ready like this and then not let me hit. I had to admit, Sean was fine, but that just wasn't my thing. And I definitely was not in the mood. Well, let me introduce you to Camille Naomi Ebony. I zipped my hoodie back up beneath the top of my cleavage. Do we still have a deal on those zeros? Those O's. Yeah, I'm going to go home and get what I need. Then I'll be back tonight. As promised, Sean was back at about 10 with his crack pie recipe ingredients. I wasn't interested in learning the trade, so I left him to his business as he cooked up a horribly smelling product. He worked his way around the kitchen as though he'd been living there. He found my mixing spoons, measuring cups, and chopping board with ease. Please make sure you clean all that residue up thoroughly because I don't want that anywhere near my food. Girl, just buy some more. I'm going to throw this stuff out when I'm done. He was really familiar with me, and I liked that. An NBA game was on tonight, and I settled in front of the TV with a big glass of water and Cheetos. What's the score? He called from the thin kitchen. 60-47, Spurs, I called back. Spurs' fast break game is killing them, and their ball movement is ridiculous. I chuckled, looking at how their opponents were dumbfounded as the orange spear zipped around the Spurs crew. I can't believe you like basketball. You're all right, Camille. I already know that, I sassed back. Do you cook, he asked. Not what you're cooking, I joked. Yeah, I cook. Why? Just wondering. So what's the story with you and your husband? Why are you living in a little place like this if he's a lawyer? And why do you drive that old beat up Camry? And why don't y'all have any kids? Hey, how do you know what kind of vehicle I drive? Oh, when I was walking back in from the parking lot, I peeped the cars. I spotted one that says Chameleon on the tag. Figured that was yours. Some old style Camry. What's up with that? Well, what kind of car do you drive? I asked. He was silent. Sean, don't try to sell me something that you ain't willing to buy. You probably don't even have a car. Drive what? You drive around your mama's? Well, I'm just trying to get to know you, Mill. Why don't you have kids? You aren't getting any younger, and you're married. Don't call me Mill, please. And what's up with you? You just can't stay out of my business, huh? You took the short bus to school or something? Is that it? You stalking me or something? Do you have kids? Nah, I got things to do. That's not what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, then maybe the same thing is true for me. I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, you're married, you say. You good looking, went to college. College graduate, I corrected. Yeah, well, you cook. And even though you can't clean up that good, I don't know, you like sports and you seem like a cool total package. So I'm just wondering what's up. What's the rest of your story? What's your story? Let's play that game. And I clean up just fine. I told you I'm moving. So I'm just preparing to sort some stuff out. So everything is all over. I'm just saying. Well, don't. You are real uptight. You seemed cool when I met you, but you stay on the defensive. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you really need to relax. I thought to myself, Negro, I'm only uptight because I haven't seen my husband and been dealt right in a little bit. I almost snapped back out loud. Maybe your problem is you have a disorder of the mouth called diarrhea, I said. Yeah, okay. It was about 3 a.m. when Sean was all done, and I gave him a comforter to sleep on a futon. I wasn't thrilled with the idea of him staying overnight, but please, he had just cooked up some illegal product in my home. It's not like I could take this time to now rethink things. I felt eerily comfortable with him too, and it was nice to have a male's presence around again. I didn't realize how much I'd missed it. It had only been a little over a month, but I had gone nearly 10 years with never spending more than a week away from Malcolm. I got up at about 5 a.m. to go to the bathroom and heard Sean breathing loudly as he slept soundly. That was a pleasant change. Both Malcolm and Keys were light snorers and they made sniffling sounds throughout the night. I took the time to slip into what I really wanted to wear to bed. Nothing. Well, with the exception of a little t-shirt. But I put everything else into the hamper and cleaned up after I used the bathroom. I walked quickly into my bedroom, not even checking on Sean again. But I didn't need to. He was in my bed. All right, that brings us to the end of the excerpt for today. If you would like to purchase this novel manuscript, I do an immediate purchase. You can email me for any information. I'm going to leave this up as we play a little bit of our exit music. As you all know, I love to jump into the chat and interact with you all. If you have ordered the book and you have not received it, please check your email. They are being sent through email. They are not sent through a separate app yet. I am still working on getting that established. But again, if you would like to purchase a copy of this book, please make sure to email me for directions, as everything will be able to be purchased for immediate exchange through via email. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am looking very much forward in us continuing this. This was fun. So I'm jumping into the chats. I want to get your responses. Thank you again for tuning in to the first ever reading. Hey, J-Hab. Hey, I'm going to jump into the chat and we're going to play some music as we exit. Absolutely.